I just was bouncing, trying to survive, trying to get all this stuff out of me.
Being part of a blended family can be challenging even for someone as accomplished and loved as Mary J Blige.
Singing was the escape for me. Singing made me forget that we were struggling.
Although she has achieved amazing success in the music industry, her role as a stepmother has been marked by a lot of heartache and struggles.
Most of the times I was just depressed and didn't want to live.
And you'll never believe what happened to Mary and her relationship with her stepkids. A lot of people have no idea that Mary J Blige hasn't had the best luck with relationships. Back in the day, her music was one way she openly spoke about her battles with severe mental health issues and her bad luck with toxic relationships. She also never kept it a secret that she was struggling with substance addiction early on in her career. It was a dark period in her life, and she admits to that. Around the same time, Mary also openly declared that there was no way she'd ever consider having kids, and although many people thought this was a result of her childhood experiences, there wasn't exactly any direct evidence to draw the connection. Mary was born in the Bronx, New York City, to Cora and Thomas Blige. She grew up alongside her older sister LaTanya, but sadly, at just 4 years old, she had to watch her parents part ways. Her mother got custody of her, and they moved to Georgia briefly before they later returned to New York. Unfortunately, they didn't have a lot of resources, so they had to live in a rough neighborhood where Mary often felt unsafe. Despite all of this, Mary found solace in music through her mom's hip-hop music collection. This, along with visits to her dad's place, played a significant role in shaping her musical interest. Mary also joined the choir at her church, where she was able to hone her talent and skills. Her whole family, especially her mother and sister, were quite supportive of her dreams, and with their support, she won a local singing competition when she was just 8 years old. Mary later decided that she needed to drop out of school to fully pursue her music career. Luckily, she got signed with Uptown, where she collaborated with the renowned music producer Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy. He served as the executive producer for her debut album, What's the 411. Despite the fact that it was just her first album, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. So although she had a difficult childhood, with her path to success being a little uneven, it doesn't seem like there's a direct correlation or specific trauma behind why she explicitly stated that she wasn't keen on having children. However, Mary later shared that not having kids was a conscious choice on her part because she valued her freedom and independence too much to commit to parenting. She even expressed that she enjoyed being an aunt to her niece and nephews, but she didn't want the responsibility of constant childcare. To be fair, her logic is sort of valid. Her reasons also include the fact that she didn't want to deal with the challenges people face when trying to find babysitters for their children. Honestly, it all makes sense, but there's actually a plot twist, and that's that although she never had children, Mary did eventually become a mother, but it wasn't through adoption or fostering. Shortly after the interview in which she said she didn't want kids, she tied the knot with her manager Martin Kendu Isaacs. Their love story began back in the early 2000s, but being with Kendu came with some other commitments because he was already a father to 3 children from a previous relationship. After he introduced Mary to his kids, Brianna, Jordan, and Naz, his bond with Mary deepened because she embraced his children as hers, and Mary was quite excited as well because being with Kendu seemed different from her past relationships. They were just completely smitten with each other, so tying the knot seemed like the natural next step. And then after getting married to Kendu, Mary became a stepmother to his 3 children for 15 years. She apparently had a lot of practice with her nephews and nieces over the years, and it was easy for her to love Kendu's kids wholeheartedly. She revealed in several interviews that she cared for them deeply and that she wanted to make sure they always felt loved and secure given her own challenging upbringing. Unfortunately, things between her and Kendu didn't end as happily as they had hoped because their marriage, which lasted 15 years, ended in divorce in 2016. Sadly, things weren't exactly friendly between Mary and Kendu when Mary ended things with him. She explicitly said that getting back together with him was out of the question. During their tumultuous divorce in 2016, Mary stated that she had learned the truth about Kendu. She described him as a con artist who had never loved her and was just coming after all of her money. Because of how things turned out with Kendu, Mary couldn't exactly maintain her relationship with his children. This, of course, ended up having a massive effect on the kids, as is often the case in these kinds of situations. Mary had been their stepmom for several years, and she had even encouraged them to call her whatever they felt comfortable with. Apparently, they didn't have to call her mommy until they were ready. And she would also do just about anything to make them as comfortable as they could. As a result, her oldest stepchild, Brianna, was practically deeply struck by the divorce, especially after the two had virtually stopped communicating. Brianna and Mary's relationship eventually had a full stop when the divorce proceedings began. Brianna later stated that she was super connected to Mary and she thought they had a real thing. She went on to say that it felt almost like she lost someone. The divorce left Brianna pretty shaken up, and she admitted that she missed Mary a lot, and she also said that she was kind of displeased with her father. She revealed that she was so angry at him that her name would probably be on the top of the list of people who were upset with him, and her reasons had to do with the fact that following their separation, a judge ordered Mary to provide $30,000 per month in temporary spousal support to Kendu. Brianna pointed out that her father had very little before marrying Mary, and if she was being honest, Mary's presence significantly improved their lifestyle. She also credited Mary for her newfound celebrity status, especially for her appearance on the reality TV show Growing Up Hip Hop. She was introduced on the show as Mary Blige's stepdaughter. Brianna also made a joke that before her father's relationship with Mary, she had a simpler diet of Kraft singles and Kool-Aid, but all that changed as soon as Mary came into the picture. Unfortunately, the messy divorce ruined the growing bond between Brianna and Mary, which must have been devastating for both of them. Mary had a family and kids and lost it all when her marriage fell apart. At the same time, Brianna lost her stepmom, who she clearly looked up to. There probably wasn't any way to avoid all this, but it's still heartbreaking that it happened. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Do you think there's a chance that Brianna and Mary could reunite, or would Mary's past relationship with Kendu be a problem? Did you know that Mary lost her stepkids like this? Let me know in the comments below.